Hey, everybody.
Hey there.
Welcome.
Welcome.
It is Wednesday, and I have to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Merry
Eve was
Christmas,
yesterday.
all
Merry
of you.
Christmas. You guys are
Merry Christmas.
amazing. And it's Wednesday, so we're going to do Don't Worry Wednesday. You guys are amazing. It's the show where we handle any issues or challenges people are going through, and you just post them either in the chat or you can post them on this website here. I think that one.
Yep.
And we will do our best to offer some perspective and some insight. We're not professional therapists or counselors. We're not a substitute for counseling in any way. We're just wanting to help you as friends and do whatever we can to offer some love and encouragement and some perspective for you. And hopefully what we say can help you along the journey. We fully believe that every single one of you is smart enough to figure out a lot of the things that are plaguing you. But just sometimes it helps to have an outside perspective, to take a look and say, oh, this is what could be going on in this entire picture. And because sometimes we get so focused on one or two little parts of the story, we forget the whole story. And when we have a full view, it really helps to move forward. So that's the purpose of this show, and mainly just to spread love and encouragement to as many people as possible, because we believe every single one of you was created with dignity and deserves our ultimate respect and love. And yeah, we just love you guys. So welcome with that long-winded welcome.
Uh-huh.
How are you, Ryan?
Welcome, everybody. I'm doing delicious.
Mm.
You should taste my skin. It's full of wonderful things, like protein, amino acids, which are proteins, flesh, skin. Is any of this? None of this sounds great. Whatever. It's
if
good.
if I was Gluttony from Full Metal Alchemist, then maybe.
Uh-huh. But wow, way to pull. Are you like watching anime now? What's going on?
I did start watching Full Metal Alchemist. It was good.
Did you? Okay, or is it the old series or the new one? Or do you know?
Brotherhood.
Is it Brotherhood? Okay, the new series. Nice. I haven't watched that one. I only watched the old one. So, man, nice. Interesting.
Gluttony was a part of the original, the first one.
Yep, both of them. Mm-hmm. I don't need to tell you the difference, but the difference is the person who was writing Full Metal Alchemist wasn't finished with the story, but they needed more visuals, so they just started to take things into their own hands, the studio, and they wrote all sorts of different stuff that didn't belong. So now they rewrote it more true to the manga. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much. And yeah, it's wonderful to be back on a Don't Worry Wednesday. It's always great to be here. So, yeah. And also the forums are back up. We noticed they were down. That's because Jesse was moving, but everything seems to be back up, working order now. So feel free to hit the website up and post things as you like. Hey, Dr. Bright. Hey, Science, Jack, Bree, Master Lay, Haley, everybody else. Nice to see you guys here.
Yeah, welcome.
We get started.
Yeah, I was kind of curious on how many folks we would have joining us with it being Christmas was yesterday and everything.
Really?
So,
yeah.
So it looks like
thanks for being.
Yeah, thank you. Master Lay is in the middle of a question, looks like.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks, Master Lay.
Yeah. So while he's finishing his question, I do want to announce that our illustrious producer Jesse Van Slyke now lives in South North Carolina.
That's right.
With all the Southern North Carolina-ins.
Yeah, what's the proper term for that?
North
I don't know.
Carolinians.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Carolinians.
Carolinians?
Carolinians.
Yes, caroling onions. That's definitely it. So all the southern North Carolinian caroling onions.
Carol minions.
Nice. Carol minions.
Yes.
So they're minions of Carolinas. I like that.
Minions
Carolina and minions.
Is South North Carolina in the Eastern District. Carol onions.
Yes. Yeah, caroling onions. All right. Everyone from North Carolina. Everyone from North Carolina is a caroling onion. Oh my gosh. That's hard to say. Yes. Happy Christmas, Haley. Thank you. How was your Christmas?
Yes. It was wonderful.
You know, it's what you make. It's what you make of it. Because, you know, sometimes you just get, you know, stuck doing things you don't normally want to do on Christmas, but you get to make it what you want. You know, you get to decide: am I going to be happy in this scenario or not? And so you got to make the best of it. You know.
Well, traditionally, aren't we still in Christmas?
Yes, Christmas is still going on.
Christmas is actually like a week-long feast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a week-long feast. And then, traditionally it's a week-long feast. It's supposed to end on, it depends. The official complete end would be on January 13th.
January 13th? Wow. So it's like long.
Yeah, it's just the Christmas in the Christmas season under the decision of the calendar, the way that it's made up. It ends on the Lord's baptism, the day of the Lord's baptism. So Jesus' baptism is when Christmas ends, and that's on the 13th of January. So it's a long season. But yes, the feast, I think, runs for a week, something like that. Or maybe 12 days. There's a 12 days of Christmas, but I'm not sure about that. So
yeah,
I think that's more like.
I like it. I like that better because it's more than one day. And that way I can feel good about, you know, feasting for a while.
Yeah. And you can be like, hey, it's Christmas, you know, cheer up, right? You can still wear your red hat. You can still, you know, do what Christmas does. I know, like Senna told me earlier, I have my Rosie, a person on our server named Rosie asked me to change my server's icon, its little image, and it's the same image, but it has the Christmas hat on it. And Senna asked me, she said, Christmas is over, so you can change your image back. And I was like, Christmas isn't over. It just began. Christmas just started. We got like a week and something to go. It's great.
Yeah.
Be cheerful.
It is. You know, I had a Christmas tree one time that was up until Easter. Maybe after Easter. It might have been up till June.
Nice.
Because I just didn't take it down.
I think I had a Christmas tree that I was up for 2 years straight. It was up, I put it up for Christmas, and then it stayed up, and then the next Christmas happened, and then it stayed up again, and then the next Christmas happened. Something along those lines. And it stayed until we moved out of that house. So I think it was about 2 years. It's great.
Nice. Hi, Shadow. So, all right. So it looks like Master Lay has finished his question. And we also have a post from who's Qro 215. I know I should know this.
Whom?
Because they mentioned it on the last stream that was their name on the website, but they posted it on the website. Oh, Diamond Explosion. Okay, thank you. All right, so but Master Lay, I'm gonna read Master Lay's question.
Yeah, please do.
And it's in a few parts. It's a little bit long, but we're gonna get it, so it's gonna be good. So Lay asks, so I'm asking out of curiosity, mainly. Oh wait, no. Let me start over because this is gonna be good. So I'm asking out of curiosity because I'm in a weird spot with my acquaintance. We had a massive argument between the two of us once, so much so that we considered ourselves our mortal enemies. Well, Recently, I went out to most people I hated in real life and decided to fix our relationship.
Wow.
We had a long talk, and I think we hit a good note. Today, she did the weirdest thing ever. She got offended over me saying I have a girlfriend. Like, what? She hung up whenever I said that and blocked me everywhere. My first thought, she couldn't have pulled a 180 on me, could she? From enemy to lover in less than a week, right? Right? I'm lost and worried. What do I do?
It's always Xmas in our hearts. That was part of it.
What's that?
He continued on that it's always Christmas in our hearts. I don't think that was actually.
I don't know if that's part of it.
No. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Lay, that is a very interesting situation. So, Ryan, what do you have any thoughts on this situation?
Yeah, that's really interesting. Also, Haley, yeah, I remember we have a question from you too that's on Discord, so I can read that later. If you would still like. So we can get to you today as well. Anyhow, yeah, Lay, that's crazy. But so believable. I'll tell you, our hearts can jump so quickly from one thing to another. I'm sure whatever happened between you two, she felt like, wow, this guy's amazing. Because here's the thing, you are amazing. I mean, I don't know anybody who's done what you just did. Personally, well, I mean, pretty much. I don't know anybody who goes to their old enemies and then says, hey, like, let's become friends, Like, no one does that. That's amazing. So I have to give you props for that. That's awesome. That's awesome practice. And that takes a lot of guts. And I'm sure you had to go pretty far outside your comfort zone to do that. So awesome, man. Maybe that really surprised her. And yeah, her heart was changed, and all of a sudden now she really likes you. I can't really entirely imagine it being anything else other than maybe she thought you were trying to come on to her, and she thought you were trying to date her, and then you told her you had a girlfriend, and she was like, wait, then why are you hitting on me? And then she decided to block you. That's the other possibility. I kind of doubt it, but that could be a thing. It could be that she thought you were being really nice to her because you liked her, and then you told her you had a girlfriend, and she was like, don't play with my heart, don't mess with me. And then she blocked you. It could be it. It could be either of those things or something completely different that we're both missing. So what do you do? Well, it's hard when someone blocks you. You can't really do much. And I understand that feeling of like, this is broken. I want to fix it, but I can't do anything, and it stinks. And now I'm just worried, and I can't sleep at night because I'm just like, I want that to make that relationship okay. I don't want them to be mad at me for no reason. I want to try to fix it, but I can't because they literally will not respond to me because they have blocked me. Yeah, I know what that feels like. It's terrible. That's one of the worst feelings. For me, at least, is one of the worst feelings. That's one of those things that can actually keep my mind feeling down for a long period of time because I'm constantly worried about the individual and my relationship with them and worried. So I totally get the feeling that you might be getting. I'm sure that you are getting. So what do you do in that scenario? Well, if they've blocked you, then there's really nothing you can do except for wait. And a lot of times when you're forced in that waiting game, it's the hardest because you can do nothing except for wait and worry. Best thing to do is to wait and not worry. Because you can't do anything about it. What you can do is come up with a game plan, because then that sets your mind in the forward-thinking sort of mentality. When you come up with a game plan, then you're no longer doing loops, and you know what to do when she finally unblocks you or comes to talk to you again. Or if she never does, then it didn't matter. But what you really need to do is get your brain out of this constant worrying phase. And so to do that, you just start moving forward with your ideas and your thoughts. So maybe take out a piece of paper and write on it. Write the different things, maybe write out the different possibilities of why she blocked you. Once you've done that, now that can be out of your mind. And then write down the different things that you can do about each thing. And then once you write that down, now you have your plan. Now you know, okay, once she comes back to me, or if she never does, but who knows? But if she does come back, if she does talk to me again, now I can say these things to her, or I can approach her in a way that will be least offensive and help the most. I think that would be good to get your mind to stop worrying, because a lot of times, I don't know, for me, my mind works in loops. Like if I'm working on a song and I'm trying to get lyrics down, or if I'm working on a story, if I'm working on anything, or I'm worrying about something, I get stuck. And when I get stuck, I just stay there, stuck, thinking about the same thing. Like, no, that won't work. No, that won't work. Think about something else. No, that won't work. And then, it's just like this constant loop of like, but what should I do? 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 And then as soon as I just start writing it down, like my mind starts moving forward. I wrote that down. Now I don't have to think about it over and over again. I already thought about it. I already wrote it down. That's done with. Now my mind can move on to the next step. So I think the best thing that you could do from my best advice, I should say, my best advice, I don't know if it'll work, but my best advice to get your mind off of it and stop worrying is to write down those things. Because other than that, there's really nothing you can do if she's blocked you, if you can't communicate with her. I suppose you could talk to her friends or something and say to her friends, like, hey, I know it's really awkward, but could you tell whatever to like ask her what's going on or something? I don't know. You could do something like that. Maybe then they'll contact you again. I suppose that could be something else you could do. But yeah, you said, I just really, really hate having enemies. Yeah, I totally get it. Far more than talking uncomfortable things with people. Yep, same. So my brain went full, well, what do I have to lose? I do know her in real life address. I wouldn't, you wouldn't, but wouldn't that be a bit unwelcome to do? Yeah, it could be weird. You could show up at her door and knock and say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you if I did. You could do that, a face-to-face apology, to go that far out of your way to knock on her door. I think that it would be uncomfortable, but I don't necessarily think that would be unwelcome. She might end up being like, okay, and close the door on you. And she might come around and say she's sorry. If you go that far out of your way, it's hard to turn that person down. And they're like, wow, they showed up at my door. Dang. You might think, wow, they're desperate. But either way, I would give it some time, first of all, because here's the thing. In a situation like this, it's not going to necessarily hurt to give it a few days. So give it a few days before, give it a week or something before you do anything like start trying to find ways to contact her. Because she might turn around herself. And if she does that, then that's the best outcome. Then you don't have to convince her, and she convinces herself. So that's really the best thing you can do is wait at least a week. And then if she doesn't respond, even then you could even go up to her in real life. That's not really that big of a deal. It is weird, especially in our day and age. But think of back in the past when we didn't have cell phones, computers, and virtual ways of when you felt bad or when you wanted to talk to someone, you would go to their house. You would knock on their door and you'd bring a pie and you'd be like, hey, I baked you this pie. Take it. Also, I'm sorry. That's what you do back in the day because that's all you could do. And I think we lost touch with that. And I think that's actually a really beautiful thing to be able to do.
I mean, I don't eat nearly as much pie as I could, as I would have back then, because people aren't bringing me pie.
That's so true.
They just text me. You know, I'd rather.
Well, now's your chance. It is. You can eat pie every day for Christmas.
It's true.
Yeah.
No, that's.
But anyhow, I'm like Joe. Take it.
Oh, okay. So I tell you what, Master Lay, this is definitely an interesting predicament. So I see in your question that you have a girlfriend. One of the things, I mean, Ryan has had some tremendous insight, and I would go back and listen to him practically on what to do, because he laid out some really good things on how you can actually step by step go and handle this. And one thing, if you are going to go and meet her face to face, just be mindful of the fact of her possible perception of that event. She's cut off all contact with you. And so if you actually go and, you know, I mean, now or not, okay, we're looking at this in terms of the drama. Okay. So like you've had this argument, and then you had this reconciliation, and then now all of a sudden you mention this. And so now this new argument comes into place where she's cut off all contact. And so there's a drama going on here. Okay. Now, some people thrive on this type of drama. It turns into this romance. And so just be mindful. There's a possibility that if she has this feeling for you and she's offended that you have a girlfriend, if you go and see her in person, it may be perceived as you wanting to pursue more of a romantic relationship with her. Now, you might play into the romantic comedy character of the guy who feels bad about offending the girl, and so now he shows up, you know, or he's there at the top of the escalator with, you know, flowers and a box of chocolates and, you know, whatever. Yeah. However cliche you want to make it. So, but if you have a girlfriend, be mindful of the fact that, you know, pursuing her may be seen as a romantic pursuit. Pursuing this other girl that's not your girlfriend might be seen as a romantic pursuit, and you probably don't necessarily need to get embroiled into all of the additional drama that can come from that. So you know, personally, I'm not a big fan of drama. Some people love it. And I think one of the things Ryan said is super, super important. And I've actually done this with my wife, actually. There have been times she's gotten mad at me and, you know, not talked to me for a certain period of time. And I've actually called her mom and said, hey, is she doing all right? You know, yeah, she's fine. And I'm like, okay, because I haven't heard anything for a few hours, you know, and this has been going on. I don't know what to think and stuff. Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. They're out shopping together or something, you know. And I, you know, okay, well, just let her know that I was thinking of her, you know. So,
just thinking of you. Great.
Yeah, so it's really quite interesting. So I guess some of how you proceed here is going to depend on, one, how serious your relationship with your girlfriend is. Two, if you have romantic feelings for this other girl who's offended, and you want to pursue that. Or three, well, there's two anyway, because I can't remember the third one.
Refer back to 1 and 2.
Yeah, refer back to 1 and 2. So it's probably going to depend some on, you know, where the status of these relationships are. And remember, as you're going through all this, some people, all people have the capability of acting completely irrationally.
Yeah.
Every single one of us can act completely irrationally. And in this case, if something said in passing or some part of a conversation led to this emotional explosion of, just blocking and cutting off and unfriending and all whatever else was there. There's the, just hung up on you and blocked you from everything. Like, that's a pretty, from my perspective, and I'm old, so maybe this has something to do with me being old, but that seems pretty extreme to me. So one of the things that I might recommend is just don't involve yourself in that extreme type of thing. Just like Ryan said, give it a little bit of time to pass and understand that even though you like to be friends with everyone, even though you don't like people to not like you, sometimes it's a lot easier to have certain people not like you. I'm not necessarily saying that about this person, but I know there are people in my life that I wish didn't like me.
Weird statement. Yes.
Does that make sense? Am I making sense here, Ryan? Give me some validation here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense at all? Because sometimes people will draw you into all kinds of drama and they'll draw you into all kinds of nonsense, and it just wastes a whole bunch of time and it expends a whole bunch of emotional energy. And sometimes it's best to keep your distance from that type of a situation. And what I'm seeing in here is there's some potential for some real emotion draining, time sucking drama. And even if you reconcile with this person, it might be good for you to not respond to this and give the signal that you will not play this game. Look, I don't play this type of game. I don't have time for it. Does that make sense?
Sometimes not only is it not worth your time, but also if you step into that game with them, it's making their life worse too. Because it feeds it's fuel for their fire, it makes them, like I've been associated with people before where it's just drama all the time. And if I'm continuing to baby them or talk to them and, the drama continues, I'm only causing the drama to move or to continue on and on and on because I listen to them talk about it or I try to solve it. I'm only making it worse because they have no intention of making things better. So, yeah, it can be if you do see it going down that road, then yeah, definitely what Joe's saying is pretty good information. Sometimes you just have to let go. Certain relationships just are not healthy, and they're better for you and the other person not to have a relationship than it is for you to be their friend. As weird as that is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Diamond, sorry you have to go. I'd like to get to your topic. If you come back, let us know you're back so we can cover your topic.
Yeah, please.
But sorry, Ryan, I totally interrupted you. Continue.
No, that was done. So.
Oh, okay. Good. Good. I'm glad you're done.
Good. Yeah, because
it's about time you were done. My gosh, I heard this noise coming through my headphones and it sounded like Ryan.
Yeah. A little bit like a pterodactyl.
And Akil says, yes, you're making sense surprisingly. What does that mean?
I think he means
surprisingly I'm making sense.
it's surprising him how much sense it makes, in that it's surprising him how he's realizing he needs to change some things
I
about
thought he was saying, Joe, I'm surprised you're making sense because you never make
because
sense.
you never really do usually. Ouch.
It's always just a bunch of words, and I know they can never make sense of it. I know.
I'm pretty sure that's something Akil is not from. I think English might be his second language, or if it's his first, he's not from America, anyways. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wait, Joe.
Oh my gosh. No, he's not. He's just pretending to make sense. Don't worry about it, Brady. Don't get excited. It's just pretend.
Yep. There, that made sense.
You still one.
We can't do this early. It's not. It's only like
man
8:12.
It happens when you bang down. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, Master Lay, thank you so much for the question. I really appreciate you posting that, because that's a serious issue.
Mm-hmm.
And like Ryan was saying, sometimes relationships are best left outside your sphere of influence, I suppose.
Yeah, there's something interesting about people. Now, this is all people. Everyone acts a little bit different to everybody. And usually there's something interesting in our subconscious mind. There's a certain type of habit or relationship that, like a certain attitude or personality that we have when we meet certain people. I remember there was like certain people that I met through my life that when I interacted with them the very first time, I acted a certain way. And so every single time I was with them after that, I acted that way. And that's very human. Everybody does that to some degree. Everyone acts a certain way to their parents, different than they act to their friends, different than they act to, everybody. And that's very natural. And so what can happen is you have somebody who you have an argument with, or a really intense, bad, dramatic situation. So every time they encounter you, their personality flips that switch, and suddenly they become drama mode. They become argumentative personality or attitude. And it's not because they want to, it's just how their brain forces them into an attitude or a personality around certain environments. And that environment is your relationship. And so it could, and I'm not saying that this is the situation, but certain times in life, you'll encounter people where it's just a bad attitude that they have with you. And every time they run into you, they're just a bad attitude. And that's because they're having this habit. Or maybe you'll find yourself doing that to somebody. And at that moment, if it's you, then you need to start correcting yourself and forming a new habit around that person. But if it's them, you don't have any control over their attitude. So the best thing you can do is try to step away or address the situation directly with them if you think they can handle it, but they probably can't. So in certain circumstances, because until they realize that their brain is doing that to them, stepping away from that person can, in most cases, be better. So it's a very, but unhealthy.
Try not to reward bad behavior if you can help it.
Right.
Yep. So, no, that was a very, very good question, because I know a lot of us get caught up in that, and all kinds of drama, and it can really, really pull you off track. You can lose all kinds of focus through it. So, thanks again, Lay. It's great to see you again here.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool to see you, Lay. You were gone for a while. I started missing you. Started having heart palpitations or something serious. It was bad, and now you're here. So thank you. My heart can settle down now.
I had heart palpitations, but that was because I was eating too many chocolate-covered espresso beans.
Is it palpitations? Is that how you say that?
Palpitations, I think so.
All right. I had it incorrect.
Well, what did you say? Didn't you say palpitations?
I said palpations, I think.
Palpation?
Palpation. I'm pretty sure I missed the T. Anyways, doesn't really. You're like, Ryan, there's no T in that word.
Well, I thought you said it. Palpitations. Yeah, science. Science rocks knows.
Thank you. Yes.
Maybe it was because maybe your connection hiccuped a little bit on my end.
I said the word fine. I don't know what you guys are talking about. The internet must have cut out or something, obviously. So
yeah.
And if anybody's wrong, it's you, everybody.
Usually.
Not me. If anybody is wrong, it's definitely not me, because I'll tell you what, I'm not perfect, but I'm not any less than perfect. So
Uh-huh.
I am a liar, though, apparently. Okay, so we have one
from Haley. And Shadow just posted. I'm gonna copy and paste yours into the website so we don't lose track of it.
Cool.
Because that's a good one too.
All right. Love you both. Sorry I can't make it most of the time. Oh, it's cool, eh? I get it. We all have life and we're all busy. We can barely make these half of the time. That's why we usually start late. This week was pretty late for me. Yeah, exactly. And I can't afford not sleeping during the Wednesday, Thursday night. Yeah. And that Friday I just slept. Yep. It's cool. How rude. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding, guys. Come on. You know I love you. You know I always think you guys are right. Okay, so this is the question. I'm not going to post in the chat because it's going to be too long.
Okay.
So you just have to pay attention, I guess. I could have posted it in the chat on Zoom, but if you need, would you like that?
You can post it, or you can post
on
it on the website.
You want me to do that for you? I'll do that for you.
You post it wherever you want to post it, where I can look at it.
All right. Helpful. That's what I'm going to do then. All right. Would we put Haley at the end of it? Dash Haley?
At the beginning.
Okay. Haley. Space dash. I hope that's the format.
I think so. Probably is not like super, probably doesn't matter like super much, but.
Okay.
Super much. There's a good word for you.
I think you mean much.
Super much.
Okay. So I posted it in the website. You should be able to view it now.
Okay.
It reads this. Recently, I haven't really been mentally stable. It's not just my family situation. There's school and friends and myself. Yet, I can never voice anything. It all stays in my mind. Recently, I find myself thinking, I hate myself a lot. But I don't hate myself. Or rather, but I don't hate myself. I know I shouldn't think that. I've also been really irritable. Everything irritates me and I just feel done. Today was especially rough. I found myself thinking, can I just disappear from the face of the earth and disappear out of everyone's lives? I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't think. The stress, worry, anxiety, sleep deprivation, not enough food, etc., is starting to break me or something. I've never been one to cry or think like that. Now I just want to curl up in a ball and cry. Yet everything stays in my mind as I feel myself drowning. There you go. That is some really, really, your mind is definitely in an unfortunate place. And I hope that the Don't Worry Wednesdays have been helping. I know that you'd say that they have been, so I'm really glad about that. But yeah, I'll let Joe talk to you and tell you that you're lovely and beautiful.
Well, this is Wow, Haley, I gotta, first of all, thank you so much for posting, and for having the courage to express this, because I know it's not easy to voice things that are challenging you.
That is true. That is really hard.
Even we try and make this a safe place and for everyone, and I'm glad that at least in our website and in the chat here, we don't have people targeting others and taking advantage of it, stuff like that. Everybody's been so encouraging and helpful, and so I got to hand it to all of you guys in the community. Thank you for being encouraging and loving and uplifting to people, because these are really difficult times. I think if we're honest, every single one of us has been through some kind of a challenge. And Haley, this is definitely a time when there's it's probably a lot of these things kind of piling up together on you, and I would be it would be presumptuous of me to try and pinpoint one of them that's the actual problem underlying everything. So I'm not going to try to do that, because for one, I'm not a professional, and two, I'm not a counselor. I haven't done any sitting down with you to probe your mind, as such. So it's tough. I know the thoughts of, I hate myself. I've been there a lot. That was very appropriate. Was that coming from us there?
We've got Christmas, so that's how.
Oh yeah. So there's this screaming child. Yes. Yep. I've been in those moments of hating myself a lot, or feeling worthless, or I guess feel like nothing's gonna go right. Nothing can go right. And everything up to this point has been so difficult, and now it's just a big mess, and I'd like to just not have to deal with it anymore. And I have an exercise where every morning I think of things that I'm thankful for, I think of things that I look forward to, and I think of things that I'm going to do. I think of things I'm going to do in order to move my life forward. And there's been a great deal of times when I look forward to, the end of my life, because I'm like, then I can take a break. Or then I won't have to deal with this certain misery that's going on, or, something of that nature. But I tell you, you were built to be happy. You were created for happiness. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't really make us happy to get what we want. I know our culture will tell us, the more that you get what you want, the happier you'll be. That's the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to get what you want. And the more of that you get, the happier you are. And that's one of the biggest lies ever. Because getting what you want doesn't necessarily make you happy. It might make you happy for a moment, but it's dependent on that. And it's really more of a pleasure that occurs, and then it fades, and then you're left in the same situation, searching for meaning, searching for something that will make you happy, and it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And it's never really satisfying. So I want to tell you, Haley, first of all, that you are loved. I love you. I know Ryan loves you. I know there are people in the chat that love you. I know there are people that you have contact person to person that love you. people in your family and friends. There are people that love you. No matter how much you look at yourself and don't see anything worth loving because you hate yourself at this moment in time, like I did for a long period of time in my life, I want to tell you that you're valuable and you're worth loving.
Hey, you're loved.
That's great. Haley says, I don't find happiness in material things. A major source of happiness for me comes from helping people. That's wonderful. That is so perfect. And Ryan is so good at explaining some of this stuff, so I'm going to hurry up and be finished. But I do want to say,
you're doing great.
Happiness really comes from living with virtue.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes living with virtue involves accepting suffering in our lives. And that's a lot of this healing process. Haley, there are a lot of things that have happened in your life recently that I would imagine have wounded you fairly deeply, just from some of the things I know that have happened. And that's so hard, and it can be so painful. And I know that, especially from this post, that you're in a time of suffering. Suffering can be redemptive, and it can be part of the healing process. But it's how you go through that suffering. If you're willing to suffer, as hard as that is, and it sounds like you are, it can always be turned to something good. In fact, that's the reason that bad things happen. The reason that bad things are allowed to happen is because something greater that's good can come from it. And this challenge that you're facing right now, this set of challenges that you're going through, can be used for future strength for you, for future empathy for other people. You said one of the things that makes you happy is helping people. Because you have that mentality of you want to help other people, this experience that you're going through is going to put in you the tools to be able to help people at a greater level than you possibly could imagine. But because you've gone through this specific set of challenges, you're going to be able to help another person through similar challenges in the future. And you would have no way of helping them to that level if you hadn't gone through the challenge yourself. In fact, that's the only reason I have anything to say on this stream, is because I've been through some massive challenges, mainly brought on by my own poor decision-making. And because I've lived through that and survived it, now I have some things that I've learned that I can help then impart to other people and hopefully help them in their situations. And that's exactly what's happening here for you. You're becoming a person that can greatly help other people. And I'm so proud of you. And I want you to know that, you're loved. And I'm going to turn it to Ryan because I don't know what else to say. So, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. And all of that is really true, especially the end part. We love you.
And my words of wisdom accompanied by screaming children. Yes, that's usually what happens when I talk, is children scream.
They scream regardless. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Sorry about the background noises. Anyways, so yeah, I thought of a couple of different things while Joe was talking, based off of what Joe was saying, and I think Haley, you are already wise. I think there's really not much we can tell you that you don't already know. But my question to you is, or my assignment for you rather is ask yourself and find the answer to this. Where did you get that wisdom? Go back to that. Because that's a lot of times what we need. Wisdom comes from all sorts of places, but seek wisdom, because in every time of struggle, there's wisdom to be learned and to be had. And, Joe said, happiness is a lot about virtue. We can say that maybe helping other people makes us happy, but that's because that's part of a virtue. And sometimes we can't help people. And when we can't help people and that avenue of happiness is shut down, then you won't feel happy. So what might be happening in your scenario is you get your happiness from helping people, but at the moment, no one can help. You can't help anybody, and you feel like you're the one that needs the help. So I'm here to try to help you understand that that's one avenue of happiness, but there's many other virtues, and you can't rely on being useful to make up whether you're happy or not. We live in a culture that, we live in a culture where people's value is determined on how useful they are. And that's very unfortunate, because people's value is infinite and it's not based on how much they can help the people around them. Your value is not dependent upon how helpful you are. You are a beautiful human being, even if you are not capable of helping anybody. In Japan, they have and Korea even more now, they have this idea to the extreme where your value in society is based on your job and how good you are at serving your country and your other people around you. And if you're not doing that, then you deserve to be depressed, and you're not valuable to society, and you're not valuable to anybody. And so a lot of suicide happens because that's their belief for a lot of people. And so it's really difficult to have that sort of system to rely on. I need to help people so that I can be happy and feel validated and feel valuable. But that's, you have to understand that happiness, that's one avenue to happiness, but that's not the only avenue to happiness. And we can't always be useful. We can't always help people. So try to, it's great to have the mindset of helping people and keep that. It's beautiful. That is a virtue. So, you're being charitable, and charity is a virtue. So keep doing that. But if your happiness is possibly coming out of you feeling like you're not doing enough, if your happiness is because you feel like you can't help enough people and you can't even help yourself, then remember that try to get it through to your brain, as you will, that's okay. That's okay. We all have that from time to time. We all experience that in our life. And let me tell you something. There is something so entirely beautiful about that. You notice that in life, the more vulnerable we make ourselves, the more intimate we become with somebody. The people that we love the most hurt us the most. Mm-hmm. But they also have the biggest impact on us emotionally, and with the way that we think. Vulnerableness is a beautiful thing, and we all need to be vulnerable at times in our lives. Sometimes we need to be strong, and sometimes we need to be vulnerable and strong. And it's okay to be where you are. And I understand it doesn't feel good when it feels like you have no control. I know it doesn't feel good when it's like everything's out of control and I can't fix anything and everything's just broken. Sometimes that's the way things are, and you just got to say, no, that's just how it is. Mm-hmm. Everything is just crazy right now. I can't do a thing about it, and it stinks. And you know what? That's okay. Because you know this is true. Good things can come, or rather, good things do come from all bad things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, when we live in a world where there's a reason for everything. And if anyone wants to argue that, then you can take science and throw it out the window, because science requires reason, and it requires that everything happens for a reason, or else then you can't science. So it's a well-known fact that everything happens for a reason. And this too happened for a reason. Whatever you're going through, all the different things you're going through, and it can build you and make you stronger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the world is chaotic. All sorts of crazy things are going on, and things are slowly breaking down. But you know what? At the same time, things are slowly being built up. And as things seem hard, as we suffer and experience pain through things, we always come out of it more knowledgeable. We always come out of it stronger. We always come out of it with a story. Sometimes we look at the past and are able to laugh at it. You know, no matter what happens in life, life continues. And sometimes you just got to be okay with the way things are and just say, that's just how it is. I can do nothing about it. And so I'm going to choose my attitude. And choosing your attitude is probably one of the hardest things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can choose your attitude and say, you know what, it is how it is, I'm just going to smile. I'm just going to be like, yeah, I got all this stuff going on. It's not cool and I can't do a thing about it, but I am going to smile and I'm going to laugh with my friends and I'm going to enjoy my day the best that I can. And I'm going to treat people nice, and I'm going to treat people like I love them and like nothing's going on. I'm going to talk to the people I love about the issues that I'm having, and they're going to console me and talk about it and whatever. But life will go on. And if you pick your attitude along the way, that'll help. But again, remember to go back to your roots. I know that you are very wise. I know that you've learned a lot through your life. I know that you are very strong. And right now you're experiencing something that's kind of getting you down more than you've ever felt before.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it that kept you strong before? Think about those things and remember your past and be thankful for it. You know, I can look at my past and see all these terrible things, but how I made it through, and by God's grace, I turned out to be a decent human being. And it can be weird to look at that and say, I should have been way more messed up than I am, but I'm not. I should have all of these different issues, but I don't have them because I have wisdom. Where did that come from? How did I get that? What things happened to me in life? And think about those things and remember those things and let those things build you up for the next moments to come, because you are never given a situation in life that you cannot handle. You are never given something in life that is beyond your own strength, something that you can't be prepared for. And except for one time, only one time in life does that come. And that's when it ends. But your life isn't ending. Your life is still going on. And you have everything you need to keep this going. You have everything you need to stay strong. You have everything inside of you. Everything has been prepared. Everything has already been prepared for you. You have been given all the gifts you need to make it through this time. So just think about what you have and be thankful for what you have. Be thankful for the wisdom that you've gained and remember what it is and where you got it from. I think that might be your best solution for this. But yeah, relationships, or sorry, I was reading Science's post. I meant to say struggle because he wrote struggle. Whatever. Struggles are a beautiful thing. It can be hard, but struggles don't just build us up. They teach our hearts that there is a such thing as value, that there's things worth struggling for, and that you're worth suffering for, even if you're the one that has to suffer.
Mm.
And there's people who suffered for you to get to where you are now. Lots of people. You might never even know all the people that have suffered just to make you into a stronger person. And all the times you suffer for other people to make them into stronger people. This world is beautiful like that. And so right now you're going through these struggles, but even that, you're going through these struggles and you're making yourself a stronger person. And I bet you're making other people stronger people too, without even noticing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because people are watching you and you're impacting people. And as you make it through this struggle and you learn and you grow, and then you act to other people based on how you've grown and you change them, I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, it's awesome. So you can get through this.
Mm-hmm.
You have everything you need. Just try, look back on your past and remember the things that made you strong, and be thankful for them. And then take that, and have confidence in that. Understand that you have all the ability in the world to get through this. And sometimes getting through it is just doing nothing except for getting through it. Like I can't do anything about it, but time will pass and this too will pass. And I'll learn a lot of things along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it is. So do what you can do and try not to worry about too much, try not to worry too much about what you can't do. It is Wednesday after all, so you can't worry regardless. Or else I'll ban you from my show. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. Haley, I love you. You're awesome. And yeah, hopefully some of that can help. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan, as you were talking, it reminded me of something. And, Haley, I see in your post that it seems like right now everything irritates you. And I wanted to, as Ryan was talking about digging back, think back to the times where you were strong. Think back to those times that got you through difficult times. And that's so important. Be mindful right now, because when somebody's wounded deeply, they generally put up a wall around an area of their heart. So to guard themselves from that pain happening again. We have a tendency to do that. We have a tendency to say, nope, I'm not going to have to deal with this ever again. So I'm putting up a wall here. And it's a protective measure. And that's good. However, that same wall will eventually trap you. And like Ryan was talking about, allowing yourself to be vulnerable. This is where remembering that strength comes from these struggles, and remembering that healing comes from forgiveness. If you can take a look back through some times recently, if there's some stuff that really hurt you, that you need to forgive somebody for, even if it's yourself you need to forgive, whether it's somebody close to you or yourself, for you to truly go back, experience that offense, and forgive the offense, that will tear down the wall, or at least begin to tear down the wall that's trapping you into this irritable, state of mind, this consistent irritability. It could, this is not necessarily the case, but it looks like it from what you're describing, that this is a possibility. So if there's stuff back there that's unforgiven, I would take some time and go back and forgive offenses as best you can, so you can start to tear down these walls that are trapping you in, because that entrapment would definitely make somebody irritable a lot of the time. And it can lead to all kinds of, vices and bad habits and poor choices and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So take a little time and forgive. as hard as that may be, and you may not be able to do it all right now. But if you can begin that process and remember, like Ryan talked about, those moments that you were strong and made it through. And what that's going to do is that's going to open you again. You're going to be vulnerable again. You're going to be allowing yourself to be hurt again. And that's scary. But it's also going to open you to being able to help people better. You're going to be able to feel somebody's heart. You're not going to be guarded when somebody comes to you for help. You're going to be open to them. You're going to be open to being able to assist them in their time of need. And as you said earlier, that's one of the ways that you gain the most happiness. That's going to open you up to more happiness because you'll be able to help people more. So Haley, it's so hard, but go down through that road of forgiveness, because we've said it many times on this show before. Forgiveness is the first step to healing all of those wounds and to healing these problems that we have. Every time we have some bitterness or anger, it's because we're holding on to some offense from the past, or maybe many of them. If we can start going back and forgiving people, it's so healing. So healing.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Ryan. Holy cow. And thank you, Haley.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Haley.
Yeah, you'll make it through this. You'll surprise yourself. And then someday you're going to look back and be like, wow, how did I make it through that? That was awesome. Wow, I'm awesome. Maybe you won't say that, but you deserve to. You should.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, like you, Haley, you just said, it's probably true. From the beginning of the divorce, I kind of pushed everything inside and ignored it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like putting up a wall to guard yourself from that hurt. And sometimes healing, the most profound healing, comes from opening yourself and allowing the hurt to take place. I know I was just listening to a therapist talk about some of these things. You know, he was talking about experience he had with people where he walked them through these forgiveness processes. And this one person had been holding on to a grudge since he was very young, like 2 years old. It was one of his earliest memories, and it was so profound. And he remembered getting down to this moment with this guy as they were talking through this, and the guy just was just wailing, crying for, a half an hour, because he finally allowed himself to experience the pain of this event and then work through the forgiveness process. And then that cured a lot of this guy's bad habits. He had some addictions that were really, really profound and hard. And he was able to free himself in so many ways. So you can be free of this, Haley. But I'll tell you, the first step is forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you again. And, don't ever be a stranger. And please post whenever you feel like something's going on in your mind you don't like, because I know you're going through this challenge. This is a tough one.
It'll never hurt you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll only try to help, and you don't have to take our advice. Our advice can be totally wrong sometimes, but
especially mine. Usually Ryan's is spot on.
Yeah, spot on to destruction. Joe's is great.
Spot on to destruction.
I don't know. I'm just trying to spin it, man. Trying to spin it to win it. So yeah, thank you so much, Haley. You're a beautiful person. You really are.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Sometimes I just need to hear what I already know. Yep, as a reminder, things I need to work on. It's opening myself up. Yep. Yeah, and you can do that.
It's better to be reminded than instructed.
It's kind of interesting. If you can, I don't know, I was going to paint a military scene for you. I'll do it anyways. Imagine there's something they call turtling up. And that is when you're when your enemy has got you cornered, and all you can do is put on the defensive and turtle up in a shell and guard yourself, you kind of close off every door. Um, but the problem is you also close off all the doors to the people coming in trying to help you.
Mm.
Um, so, and another thing is you can't attack the enemy team when you're all turtled up inside and all of your gates are closed, all of your walls are high, and you cannot get out. At some point, your enemy will cut off all of your food supply and you'll die from starvation. This happens in ancient times. However, it's better to not turtle up. It can be okay in some situations, but you can't remain that way for long. At some point, you have to open back up. You have to start being able to attack the enemy once again in order to solve the problem, to end the war.
Mm.
And yeah, and so when you close yourself up, you get pushed back into all the problems that are all of these things are hitting you in life. You've got a divorce, and then you've got school, and you've got all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
They're all beating you down, and then you kind of just curl up into a ball, and then and you put up all these walls so that you don't feel vulnerable, and so that you can try to get through it, and you have that tough shell. But in the end, they're all just still beating on you. It's not until you open up and knock down your walls, and yeah, that makes you vulnerable to the punches again. But now you can at least attack the problem and solve it. Now you can at least go at the issues with an open mind, with an open heart, and start working things out and making things good again. So it's kind of natural for our minds to do that to us. Sometimes when we're getting beat down, it's just hide away and close off all communications and so on, and just kind of curl up in a ball and not let ourselves go. But unfortunately, a lot of times it can be self-destructive, because what you really need to do is actually just go right at the problem and attack it, or become vulnerable to the problem so that you can fix it, so that you can change it, so you can pick your attitude, and fight your war.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
that's a great analogy. I love that turtle shell analogy.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting analogy. Yeah, it's kind of a weird analogy, but it's kind of what came to my head.
Makes sense. And we're gonna do our best to reach in that turtle shell and help you out.
Yeah.
So thanks again, Haley. You are awesome.
Start a crusade where Static spreads the word of "Don't worry." Nice.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing the Don't Worry Wednesday. We do them Wednesdays and Fridays, and that's kind of where our crusade is at right now.
Yeah,
we're working on making it bigger and better and more awesome. Mm-hmm. So we have a couple. We have a couple of things on here. We've got one from, who's that? Diamond something or other.
Yeah, Diamond something or other. That's right.
Diamond Explosion.
Have they come back? Have they returned?
Yeah, they were back. Okay, Diamond Explosion is here. So we've got diamonds and we've got shadows. And I think we can get to both of them on this stream.
Now, what was Diamond's name here? Or how do I find the
Hero 215? And
tired all the time. Got it.
Yeah, tired all the time. So we'll handle that one, and then we'll move to shadows.
Awesome. Hey.
And we'll see where we're at then. So yes, welcome back, Diamond. Diamond Explosion or Kuro 215 posted on the website, which is a great place to do that, by the way. It's a great place to go and hang out. But the post says, "I'm tired all the time, no matter what I do. To try to help it, I exercise. I go to bed at a decent time, but nothing seems to help." That's a tough one.
Yeah.
For sure. there's a lot of different reasons that could be happening. Ryan, do you have any thoughts?
I really am interested to see what Joe has to say about this. I feel like he has a little bit more insight on this. I am not a physician.
Me neither.
I'm not a psychiatrist, because that's not a thing, or a psychologist or whatever. So this is an interesting thing that's probably a little bit beyond me. I can only give maybe some different advice. I know sometimes I can feel tired throughout the day if I allow myself to be, or if I keep myself in dark places, or even if based on my diet. I think one time, sometime you might have to take a look at what you're drinking, what your diet is. Are you drinking any caffeine or energy drinks in order to keep you from not being tired? One thing you could possibly do is stay away from that, because your brain might just be in this position where it uses those to pick itself up. But then once it wears off, it just goes back to being tired. And so what you need to do is just not have any for a long time so that your brain can naturally be as it's supposed to be. But it also could be that you have a lack of certain chemical in your brain that keeps you naturally awake. You say you don't drink those things.
Okay.
Okay. Now, a lot of people would suggest, why don't you just drink coffee? I mean, you could, but
you could, for sure,
you could do that. You could start drinking substances to get your mind moving again. The only thing I see in that is, you kind of want to try to make things work without using substances. And I would say in this situation, coffee is a substance. But at the same time, all of those things exist on this earth for a reason. All of those things exist on this earth, and that's good. A lot of times we can say, drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. Yeah, and that can be true. You can abuse drugs, and they're bad. But drugs are also, they provide a specific function that can't be good. And you don't want to get addicted to them, but if the function of the substance can help you, at least temporarily, until you figure out the issue and get that solved, that can be used. That can be good. That can be good for you. So I won't say you should drink coffee or you shouldn't drink coffee. I'm going to leave that up to you, or whatever it is. I would say try not to drink energy drinks. They're really unhealthy. Even the ones that are organic. I do from time to time, but that's because the taurine is a good chemical agent for vocal cords.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really, it creates a certain type of phlegm that I'm sure you've experienced before. Phlegm that is not all over the place and like milky and creamy, but it creates a type of phlegm in your throat that's consistent and strong and can take the brunt of any growling or anything like that. It can be really useful for singing. But that's how I use energy drinks, literally just to create phlegm in my throat for the taurine. So I even use chemicals from time to time. We all do. We all eat food. So we use chemicals to grow our bodies and stuff. But anyways, if you're doing the right amount of, if you're doing exercising and you are, and you're eating appropriately and you're still tired, I don't know. It could just be your day-to-day routine of what your job is or something. I have no idea. I'm not really well experienced in this. I'm just going to kind of have to take an, I don't know, and pass it. At least for now, and see what Joe might have to say about it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I noticed I say, a lot. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and correct that.
Don't you know?
Don't you know? Don't you know?
Don't you know? Oh, for cute.
Uh,
Oh, cute. Don't you know?
um, Diamond, thanks for the question again. And Ryan had some great things to talk about. One thing, a lot of, like he said, sometimes chemicals can help. You know, some of these things were put here in order to do a certain thing for us that can enhance our life in a certain way. And it's true, we can become dependent on things. I don't necessarily think caffeine is an evil thing. I know that energy drinks can be tough on you, especially the ones that have lots of sugar, corn syrup, and stuff like that. You know, I've seen a lot of people just wreck their mouth. They get some dentists have said, "I'm so glad energy drinks are around. They keep me in business because they can just do a real number on your teeth."
Yeah, I've seen a lot of really unfortunate, like monster addicts, and then
Mm-hmm.
and you look in their mouth, and you're just like,
Yeah,
where are your teeth?
Rotting, right? It's like they're addicted to crack.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Their teeth start to break and turn black and fall apart, and
yeah,
get pretty ridiculous. So be careful with those. But you said that you can't drink energy drinks because of arthritis. So that is closed off to you apparently. Yeah. So that's all right.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. So those of you who do drink lots of energy drinks, be mindful of your teeth. Be good to your teeth
and your health in general.
Yes, absolutely. So I would ask a couple questions, and that's how much water are you drinking? Are you taking a multivitamin? And you talked about exercise and sleep, which those are definitely two factors that have helped me a lot. I can tell you that when I started drinking more water, my energy levels went way up. I still drink a fair amount of caffeine in the morning. Probably, okay, so when I wake up in the morning, I have a little bit of a routine. Most of the times. This week has been a little bit off because it's the holidays, and so everything's a little up in the air. You got parties to go to, and work. It's just off schedule, so everything kind of flies away. But normally when I'm in my routine, what it is, I get up, I have about 20 ounces of water, 16 to 20 ounces of water, first thing. And that's just the beginning to start up, and that rehydrates the body. So, because our bodies are 70% water anyway, I think it's 70%, isn't it? Something like that. A large percentage of our body is water.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the earth that's 70% water.
I've heard people say up to 90 even, but I'm not so sure about that.
Okay. Diamond says, could be just because I'm still a teen, still growing and everything. Yep, that's absolutely true. Growing takes a lot of energy. And in the teenage years, I know of people that when they're teenagers, that's when they need the most sleep. They sleep a lot, and that's perfectly normal. So, but definitely water, some kind of a vitamin I would definitely take, even if it's a Flintstones chewable something.
Could be good.
So, and then watch what you're eating too. Stay away from lots of salt if you can avoid it. And highly processed foods. So just kind of be mindful of those things. And but being a teenager, it could just be something you're going through right now because your body's growing and you're going through a lot. Your body's changing a lot, going from childhood to adulthood. And there's a lot of changes that happen, not just the size of your body changing, but all kinds of different stuff. Different areas of your body start working that weren't active before, all kinds of stuff. So it's just a crazy mess of things going on. So it's perfectly normal that you're probably tired. If it bothers you, you can definitely go talk to a doctor. and like Ryan is not a physician, I'm not a physician either. But
oh yeah, go on. I thought of two more things that might be helpful, but yeah, go on.
oh yeah. All I was going to say is that I, in my morning routine, I drink a lot of water to start. And then I have in my breakfast protein shake that I drink, there are about 2 cups worth of coffee in there of caffeine, 2 cups of coffee worth of caffeine in that. So that jolts me and gets my mind like focused, because I will say this next thing, but I don't necessarily know if I'll direct it at you, but I'll direct it at the audience. There is such a thing as getting too much sleep. Depending on what your body needs, every one of us is built a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. Some people need lots of sleep. Some people need not much sleep. I know if I get more than 7 hours of sleep in a night, I'm exhausted the whole next day.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Absolutely exhausted. My ideal sleep amount is somewhere between 4 and 6 hours. And it if I get 4 hours of sleep night after night after night after night after night after night after night for a long time, then eventually I'm going to need a 6-hour night. Because it just Jesse, I remember him blowing my mind. When I first met Jesse, he would sleep 12 hours without breaking a sweat. He loved it. He's got it back to like 8 now or something. But he can sleep, and that's how his body functions the best. And I'd pick on him all the time. Poor Jesse. Still between 8 and 10. Okay, good.
Wow. See, that's incredible to me.
Yeah. Because we just talked about how amazing it was that he moved and got the server going and all this stuff. So he was functioning properly and, getting good sleep. So anyway, the point I was making was, our bodies aren't identical. So we don't all need exactly 8 hours of sleep. Some of our bodies need more sleep. Some of our bodies need less sleep. In your case, because you're a teenager, I would err on the side of more sleep.
It's likely.
Because of the changes that are going on, I would get more sleep if I were you. See if you can go to bed earlier and sleep in later. Well, I know you got school, so you can't sleep in too late. So anyway, that's what I'd say. So I'm going to pass it back to Ryan. He's got a couple things.
Yeah. Actually, on that note, something you could possibly do is treat it like an experiment. Treat it like a science experiment, but with your body. Because I've done this before too. And I know Joe's done this with sleep. I've done this with like drinks and stuff, trying all sorts of different stuff and trying to look at the labels and see what's in them to see what helps me sing the best for drinks. And I treat my body like an experiment. So, and it's kind of fun. Now you can do the same thing with sleep, and Joe's done the same thing with sleep. He's tried many different sleeping schedules to see what fits him best, and to see
many different various results.
Yeah. So what you can do is something I think it would be fun to try, and something worth trying is try getting less sleep than you get right now. Maybe do something like this. One night, try getting. I would recommend starting at a nice time, like 5 hours and 30 minutes. For me, that's a great spot. 5 hours, 30 minutes. For me, that's awesome. But it's a weird number. But I would say try not to get too much less than 5, because like we've acknowledged, you're a teenager and you have school and all that kind of stuff. You don't want something to destroy your day. Mm-hmm. Try 5 hours and 30 minutes and see how that day goes for you. That doesn't work, try 6 hours. And if that doesn't work, try 6 hours, 30 minutes. That doesn't work, try 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30. And then you can try 9 if you want. And if you can at least try those things to see what you feel most comfortable throughout your day with. And then get on a schedule like that. That might help you. Excuse me. as just an idea, I think that could be really cool for you to do as well. It's fun. The other thing is this. I was gonna say, eat. I was curious. I'm curious about what you're eating. I know that you said you're eating well, but eating a lot of food doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be energized by it. Food doesn't necessarily always translate into energy the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Certain foods are better than others. Certain foods, like for example, if you order a hamburger at McDonald's, you're going to get proteins and you're going to get sugars and some carbs, but a lot of those are going to burn off fast or turn into fat. And so they're not going to last throughout the day and make you able to function without being tired. And what I would suggest is try to find, if you can, maybe ask your parents for it, or if you go shopping or whatever, try to find nuts that are not salted, whatever kind is your favorite. Nuts are a great source of energy, and it's a type of energy that lasts throughout the day. It lasts for several hours, as opposed to most sugars that you find in things. They come and burn quickly. They're fast active, but they burn quickly. But nuts are a great source of energy that burns slowly. It's because the chemical structure of the sugars in there are harder to digest, but because of that, they last longer. So nuts, try to find unsalted nuts, or seeds, unsalted seeds, like unsalted sunflower seeds. That can be a really good thing to just kind of snack on throughout the day. That'll keep you going. And it's healthy for you too. Just don't overdo it and eat too many nuts, because if you eat too many nuts, it can cause joint problems, because every nut has a specific type of oil in it that can cause your cartilage to not function correctly. But that's only if you eat like a pound of nuts. So you don't have to really worry about that. A handful of nuts, probably 10 handfuls of nuts will still be okay. Just don't eat an entire meal's worth of nuts is what I'm saying. But throughout the day, nuts, that's a great source of energy. So yeah, I'm sure you're eating fruit and stuff like that, and that's all healthy. Pastas and bready substances have a lot of carbs that can do you well, since that's part of what turns into energy for our body and keeps us going. So if you're not eating a lot of noodles or bread type objects, you might want to start considering that as well. But yeah, my best suggestion is nuts or seeds or nuts, unsalted.
Yeah. I almost think in general, I think I remember reading a dietitianist book. Oh, rice is excellent. Rice is an excellent carbohydrate.
Yeah. Rice, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But one of the I think the ratio, there's a ratio in order for your body to have the proper amount of glucose or sucrose or whatever it is that's in there, the stuff that you function with. There's a certain ratio of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And I think it would be like 4 to 2 to 1. So per meal. So let's say if you look at a nutrition label and you look at whatever your meal is and you kind of put it together, it should be like, if you had 40 grams of carbohydrates, there should be 20 grams of protein and 10 grams of fat. I think that's the ratio, but I'm not exactly sure. So twice as much carbs as proteins, and then twice as much proteins as fats.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Fats are important. So if you have if you're eating non-fat products like fat-free yogurt, fat-free sour cream, fat-free everything, get some more fats, because fats are important.
Yep, you need them. Your body needs them. That's good for balance. So And I did balance like on a balance beam, but dietary balance.
You've seen in one book, guys, because I eat fat.
But yeah, and Diamond Explosion. Also, thank you for the question. Here's another thing. Mentally, do you have a dream?
Mm-hmm.
Because all these things physically, for bodily energy and that stuff, we can go to a certain, we can go to a certain length with all of that. But your mind plays an important part in this too. And if, I know it's tough when you're in school because, you know, you may just be going through the motions, doing what you need to in school, looking forward to getting done so you can really start your life. Start thinking about that now. What is your life going to look like?
Yeah, what makes you passionate?
What are you excited about? What gets you going? Those are the things. People talk about that all the time. And they always say, what gets you going? What can you do that gets you so you're doing it and time just flies by, you don't even notice? I remember when I was a teenager, music was such an important part of my life. I was up all the time. I didn't sleep very much at all because I had this dream and I had this focus on this dream, and it just consumed me. And part of it was because I was shutting out most of the rest of the world. I hated people at the time. And so I would just get into this. I was focused on music. And I ended up my senior year in high school. I composed, it was like a 7-minute piece for full orchestra. And I wrote it out by hand. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
It took a long time. And I had to learn all kinds of stuff because I'm a percussionist. So I had to learn all kinds of craziness, instrument ranges. What can a trombone go to? You know, what can I didn't write a saxophone part, Ryan. Sorry. Hope that doesn't offend
that's
you.
Okay. I wasn't offended. So I wasn't part of that scenario. There was,
But I had to learn the alto clef, which is weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Those of you who play the viola, you know all about that.
Best instrument.
Yeah.
Well, not the best instrument, but one of the very best instruments. I love the rich sound of a viola.
Yep. But that kept me going though, because I had a goal and I had a dream and I knew what I wanted to do and I was pursuing it. And this was a part of pursuing it, if that makes sense. To me, all of those steps were part of pursuing my dream of being a professional musician. And that energized me. So I would definitely ask if there's something you can get in your mind that's a dream of something you want to become when you're older, and start figuring out what you can do now to work in that direction, and that will energize you as well. So all of the things we talked about with your physical health, that will optimize your body and make it so you can use it with your mind to do something really, really great. But they will work in tandem. So you're going to work together, your mind and your body together. They're going to work. And I don't know. I would just encourage you, see if you can find something to dream about. And that can really help.
Mm-hmm.
So everything we talked about, plus that.
Yep.
And Shadow. Okay. Grade 9. Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think I really touched on a lot of this stuff until I was in 10th or 11th grade, midway through 10th grade, maybe 11th, where I started really figuring this kind of stuff out. In ninth grade, I actually still liked people to some degree. I hadn't quite been completely.
Oh, really? Yeah, I hated everybody before that. So
I was really starting to. Seventh grade started the journey. By the time I was in 10th grade, I hated everybody. It's like the end of my ninth grade year, an experience happened where I just wrote people off at that point. I did what I was telling Haley not to do. I did. I walled everybody off.
Yeah. Right. You want to know the day that messed it up for me? It's funny because I can actually remember it was one specific day, or it was a year in school, but it was, I don't remember what grade. I think it was second grade. Yeah, it was second grade. So first grade came. It was great. Actually, I think it was third grade. So first grade came. It was great. Everybody loved me. I had like 20 girlfriends. Okay, I had 20 friends that were girls, and like tons of friends. Second grade came. Pretty sure it was second grade. There was a kid who was more popular than me, and there was this play set. And right in front of everybody, he said something along the lines of, "I don't like you. You're stupid. Get away from my play set. This is mine." And everybody was on his side. And I was like suddenly the outcast. And from then on, I just hated everybody because no one treated me nice in the class anymore because that one kid didn't like me. And everybody thought that kid was cuter than me. So I was like, dang, I see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's traumatic experiences.
Yeah, it's like it's not really that big of a deal, but I remember it shaped how I thought about people.
Yeah, I'll relate my traumatic experience that turned me off if you want to hear it.
Yeah, what happened to you?
Actually, mine was a moment of redemption.
Oh,
no, not redemption. Vengeance, I suppose.
Ooh, vengeance. Yes. Yeah, redemption is a little bit different than repentance.
It's different than a lot, actually. Different.
Right. One thing is actually good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. So anyway, this kid was picking on me. It was the end of the school day, and I was the kid that carried there's the kid that carries the book bag with all of his books to every class because he doesn't want to go to his locker.
That's me.
Probably because he knows eventually somebody's going to shut him in his locker, and so he wants to make room in there for himself.
Oh, not me.
But anyway, so I carried all my books around in my bag to every class. And at the end of the day, I had my book bag with all the books in there, and it was super heavy, right? And this kid was picking on me. And I just had enough. And I just looked at him, and he didn't see it coming. But I swung my bag around and just nailed him in the head, right in the face with my bag, with my book bag, and just like gave him this big black eye and all this kind of stuff.
Well, with a book, basically. Some book and some fabric in between it.
A bunch of books.
Yeah.
And I was not a Catholic at the time, Jono. Very Catholic of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe wasn't a Catholic. Yeah.
I was not a Catholic until very recently. Yeah. But at any rate, so that has nothing to do with it. The fact was I hated people from then on. And
that's funny.
This is crazy. That same person, because of other choices I made in my life, years later, I got in trouble with the police. And I was, this was about...
Joe met Ryan.
This is the closest.
No, that's how Ryan met Joe's books. No.
Oh, yeah. Except it wasn't Ryan. But anyway, I was, this is the closest I ever got to being arrested. I had to sit in the back of a cop car while they searched my car. So I'm sitting in the back of the police car. They're searching my car. And, they usually have another cop come up to help search the car. And the cop that came up to help was that guy that I smashed in the face with my book bag.
Yeah, he's guilty. I know him.
So he became a cop. And I'm like, yes, I see. Bullies become cops so they can continue being bullies. I see.
Yeah.
No, that's not actually true. So, and he is totally fine. We shook hands that day and everything was good.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't get arrested. It was
bummer. Would have been fun,
Bummer, you didn't get arrested.
Yeah, I mean, that's everybody's dream to get arrested, right? I thought that was the thing. I thought that's what the cool kids were doing.
Oh, yeah, the cool kids all get arrested. That's right.
I'm the best cop. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't judge. You do you.
Oh man, so it's great, And Ryan, apparently you took all the girls to the playground. Was that the thing? Ryan took all the girls.
I was pretty popular with the girls, with the ladies when I was in first grade.
Yeah.
In second grade, probably.
You're still popular with the ladies.
In the third, I don't know.
You just stay away from the drama.
I do try. So
yes,
nice.
Well, anyway, thank you, Diamond and or QRO 215, however you prefer.
Crow. I think it's Crow. It's Crow. It's Crow, like CROW, but with a
Q. I think it's gotcha. Okay, Crow. Cool. So thank you very much.
I mean, did you want to do Jonos or Shadowlux? Probably.
Shadows we had, but Shadow says it's fine. We don't need to go through it. But I really liked it because there's a lot of things that I think I know I've been through those experiences of having angry outbursts. You just heard about one. Jono's question was, help, I deleted my melody line.
Yeah, that's great.
Redo it. You're gonna be good. As I stated, I put in the chat, some of my fondest memories have been when something got deleted or some problem happened,
Yeah.
One of the times that a big problem happened, Ryan and his brother Kyle had to come down from up north and bring their computer and help, and we had to re-record a bunch of stuff, and we sat there for a couple of days working on stuff, and it was an amazing experience.
Was that the time that you and Kyle went off to the seminar and I stayed back?
Mm-hmm.
And then
you pretty much mastered the whole thing, and
yeah, that was a very interesting few set of days, man. That was crazy.
Yep. And I remember there was an exercise ball. There was an exercise ball that we were seeing how far we could go on it. We'd push off and roll on the exercise ball and see how far we could go.
Man, yeah. Man. We have so many good we need to get together, Joe. We need to just get together and do something.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Me, you, and an exercise ball will be good.
Yeah, that's all we need. Just you and me and the exercise ball. That's all we need. We'll have fun.
So Shadowlux, I know you said we didn't need to do it, but I want to ask you permission. Can we address the issue that you posted on here? Because I'd really like to. So, I guess if you're here, please let us know if it's okay. You can if you'd like. Thank you, Shadow. That's awesome. But we should get to Uriel. Static P, why are you so handsome?
I was typing it out. I'll just say it. It's because I'm trying to look my best for you, winky face.
Did you just call Uriel winky face, or did you just do a winky face?
I did a winky face at Uriel.
Oh, you didn't call.
I'm just trying to make. I'm trying to look good for you because I knew that you'd be here, and I wanted to impress you. Because you're beautiful, and so you know how it is. Love things.
I'm a winky face.
A winky face.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Shadowlux has posted.
I remember that, Haley.
Yeah.
There's more questions in the forums. We're being informed.
Yes, there are. Look at them. Look at them. All right. Well, right now we're moving to Shadowlux's. Shadowlux says, I lost a lot of my happiness because I have bursts of anger. Every time I try to fix it, I go back to it. Kind of sucks. Yes, I agree. That does kind of suck. And I know that feeling. I've been there before. But I'm going to let Ryan start because he has taught me so much about the science of being happy.
I have. Wow.
the influence that Ryan has had on my ability to be happy, no matter what's going on around me, has been absolutely profound. So I'm going to let him start.
Well, that's very nice of you, Joe. I felt like I was like, wow, I don't even know how to say what to say here. So thanks for edifying me. And now the big letdown comes. I don't know. You figure it out.
Just tell him whatever you told me over the last 7 years or so.
All right. Prepare yourself.
I hope you guys are going to be here for
7-year talk
stuff.
Okay. So, sometimes we get angry. And really, it happens to everybody. Everybody gets angry about something at some point. And it's funny because people will be like, Ryan, you never get angry. That's true. No. Most people think I've never been angry in my entire life. I've been angry. I've
never seen it. I have yet to see it.
Oh yeah? Now you've seen it. Anger is something that we can all experience. It's what you choose to do next that really decides who you are. Because here's what it is. When something happens to you is an experience, right? And then you experience anger. But you get to decide what you do with that experience. That isn't what you are. People say, I'm angry. But that doesn't mean I am angry, and that is my essence, and that is who I am. Right? That's just the way we say it. We say, I am angry. But in truth, it's I'm experiencing anger. And you got to make a decision on what you do with it, because how you react to it is what will decide what comes next. For me, I think we've had this talk before, Lux, but for me, when I experience an emotion that I don't like, whether it's sadness or anger, I immediately try to remind myself to take a step back and say, wait. This doesn't feel good. What do I need to do about this? And then I take an action, and that action influences how I feel. If I'm playing a video game and the video game is making me angry, you know what I'll do? It's different every time, but sometimes I'll just be like, I'll just talk out loud and I'll be like, hey, you know what? It's only a game, so it doesn't really matter. It's not real life, right? Like, I'm not actually dying in real life. It's okay. It's just a game. So it's like, whatever. It's okay if I lose sometimes, because that's not really a big deal. We all lose sometimes. So whatever. And then all of a sudden, or upset.
It's more entertaining on Twitch if you have a big emotional response.
Yeah, you're right. If I get, that's how they talk. I think I'm doing that right. I might be doing it wrong. I don't know. Someone will have to school how to act angry. I don't remember. I don't remember that feeling or how to act it out. But anyways, we're children watching. Nice. But how you react is going to change how you feel, because when someone does something to you or you do something to yourself and you get angry, if you act out that anger, it usually doesn't calm you. It usually continues the anger. Mm-hmm. But when you act against the anger by acting righteous, by acting with virtue, by choosing to act and do the right thing, or to let it go, or to be kind, it forces your brain to have a new experience, because something else just changed, something else just happened, and so now it reacts to that. Emotions are fickle things; they come and they go. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they come on quick and come on unexpected, and we just react to them without thinking. And then when that happens, you know what the best thing to do is? Say, I'm sorry. And just own up to it and be like, yeah, sorry, I just let loose and my anger got to me, and I wish that didn't happen, but it happened, and I'm sorry. I wish that didn't happen. That was my bad. Whether you're saying that to yourself or you're saying that to somebody else, owning up to it can really help you do it less, believe it or not, because now you've done something that your brain remembers the next time you get angry. It remembers you owning up to it. And then it starts to think twice about before acting, without thinking. So those are some tips, some advice. I think I might have covered that before, but it doesn't hurt to have a healthy reminder. It's not easy, you say. I'm too used to letting it out in a burst of flames. Because of that, I've hurt people. I've said sorry, but I've said sorry so many times that I've lost a lot of people and part of myself. Yep. That's understandable. Well, let me tell you something. It gets better. You can change this. This isn't what your essence is. This isn't who you are. You've done these things. And yeah, sometimes there are things in my life where I messed up and I said sorry, and I messed up again, and I said sorry, and I messed up again, and I said sorry, and I messed up again. Hundreds of times. There are things that I've dealt with on my interior self, where I messed up over and over and over and over and over. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry, myself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You've got to be so sick and tired of hearing me say I'm sorry. This relationship between me and me, or me and God, or whatever it is, or this me and this person, cannot be good. Because I've said sorry for this, and it sounds like I'm just saying sorry because I want you to be happy with me, even though I want to keep on doing what I'm doing, even though I really don't want to keep on doing what I'm doing. Like, I get it. I know where you're coming from. I know you're experiencing that, because we all experience that. And let me tell you, my friend, you can get over it. You can. Because people have gotten over it. I've gotten over a lot of the issues that I've dealt with. I'm sure Joe could say the same thing. You can get over it. It takes time. Certain habits are really hard to kick. But if you say your prayers and you do your part and you just remind yourself whenever it happens, and you continue to say, I'm sorry, even though I understand. It can feel like I've said this 5 million times. Like, I don't think you probably believe me, but I am sorry. I made a mistake. Honestly, forgiving yourself is important. If you don't forgive yourself, it can be hard to take yourself seriously. So you really got to make sure you do forgive yourself. And you try again from scratch. Just be like, you know what? Next time I'm gonna nail this. I'm gonna do it right. And maybe it won't, but then next time I'll do it for sure. And you just got to keep on doing. You got to keep on trying. You just got to keep on trying. But every people are incredible creatures, capable of growing and becoming incredible things, amounting to things we can't even place a value on. We can't even measure, because there's so many facets to a human being, so many different things that people learn, and talents and trials that they've been through and accomplished, and just so much in a life packed. And it just amazes me. And this is just one of those things for you. I'm not saying, oh, it's easy, no big deal. I get it. It's hard. But you're also strong enough to get through this. I believe in you. I know you can do it. You just got to keep on at it. Keep at it. You'll figure this out and get through it. And it's not going to be easy. But here's the thing. We are always changing. And every choice that you make is starting yourself on a path. And every time you make the right choice, it helps a little bit. And so just keep on making that right choice as much as you can. And also, actually, I forgot what I was going to say, but that's great. Maybe I'll remember it later. But yeah, people are capable of so much, and you are totally capable of getting over this. So when you feel like, I can't do this, I just can't. I've tried for so long, and it'll never happen. I'll never get over it. I'll never stop just freaking out and lashing out at people. You will. Just believe in yourself and give it another shot. Because you can't fix it if you don't. That's just the bottom line. You can't fix it if you don't give it another shot. You just got to keep on giving it more shots. You've been trained with this bad habit. It's unfortunate. Whether it's your fault or not, it doesn't really matter. It's there, right? But you have the ability to fix it. You had the ability to learn it. You also have the ability to learn something else in its place. So anyways, I had something else I was going to say. I can't remember it. So I'm just going to let Joe remember what I was going to say and see what beautiful things he has to add on.
Yeah, I don't remember what you were going to say, unfortunately.
Oh, darn it. Okay, whatever.
But I do want to go back and highlight some of the stuff you did say, because I think you said some really important stuff that's worth repeating. And that is that you are not your bursts of anger. That is not you. It is not who you are. It is not your essence, as Ryan said. I think that's so important to understand and realize that you are separate from that. This is an experience you have. This is a habit that's developed. This is just simply an action that's been taken that's developed into a habit. And it can take time and effort. I mean, it does take time and effort to change a habit. And you can't really ever stop a habit. You have to start a new one.
Right.
So you have to replace a bad habit with a good habit. You can't just stop one. So that's one reason why quitting smoking is so hard, because a lot of times people say, well, I'm going to quit smoking. That's simply stopping a habit. In order to really do it, you need to begin a new habit, something beneficial, something that counteracts the bad habit. And it's no different here. This is a habit that's been created based on whatever choices you've made, based on whatever experiences you've had, and now you have this habit. But it is not you, as Ryan has said. And I love that. That is so profound, because we get so caught up into our own experiences and our tendencies, and we identify with them. And then we begin to think that that's just us. It's just how I am. It's just who I am. It's whatever. It's just, yeah, that's what I am. And it's not. That's absolutely not true at all. This is just an experience. And it can change. You can make changes. And it's going to take some time. And it's going to take some effort. And it's not going to happen all at once. So I remember a guy talking about parenting. This seems very, very applicable here. And he was talking about parenting. He said, the timeout that you give your kid, that's not really necessarily for your kid. That's for you as a parent.
That's for you. Right.
That's for you to chill out. Because your kid's doing something that's making you mad, you need a timeout so you can calm down. Your kid needs a timeout because they're doing something wrong. They need to take some time and think about and try and fix their activity. You need a timeout as a parent because you need to calm yourself down because you're getting angry. And sometimes if you can remember, if you can program yourself, and you can do it, you can program yourself to act this way. But when you start to feel that rage well up, when something's happening that's making that just start to rise up within you, make that a trigger to say, okay, time out. I need a timeout. And then mentally take a timeout. You can count to 10. I've heard people take deep breaths, count to 10, do whatever. Something to relax. Your body's tensing up. You're getting angry. Some kind of trigger that's going to just help you to just relax, because you can't be relaxed and angry at the same time. Have you ever seen a really relaxed person angry? Look at Ryan right now. That's it.
That's what that looks like. No, okay, that's not a thing.
But another thing Ryan said that was so important was, he was talking about the relationship between your actions and your feelings. You might feel angry, and so you respond with an outburst. But what Ryan said was, if you respond with something different than an outburst, your feelings will follow that. So if you start to feel yourself getting angry and you take an action that's happy, maybe laugh. Somebody's doing something that makes you angry, just laugh at them. That actually can be quite effective in both directions. Sometimes you can do that. If someone's really trying to get to you and it's making you angry, like if they're picking on you or something and they're trying to raise your blood pressure and get you all upset, you can laugh at them. And that might neutralize things a little bit. It's like when someone punches you in the face and you just look at them and smile. And then they go, oh, dang it. Well, that didn't work. And I'm about to get my clock cleaned because that guy just smiled at me. Like,
yeah.
Just give him that look. But those angry outbursts, you definitely can fix it. Sometimes, we've addressed this before in earlier topics, where there might be something in your brain. And sometimes you need to talk to a doctor. Sometimes you need to talk to a professional, because there might be something chemically going on that needs a little bit of correction. And sometimes there are medications that can help with that. But I hate to just resort to medication right off the bat. And, doctors that do that, I kind of feel bad for their patients, because there's sometimes our underlying issues that, that the medication is going to mask. And if you don't deal with the underlying issues, then you don't ever fix it. You just end up masking it and masking it and masking it. But sometimes there are times when there is a chemical imbalance that needs to be addressed. And so that's definitely a possibility. But in the meantime, just remember, it's even in the case of a chemical imbalance, it's not you. It's an experience that you're having. It's not who you are. Just because you have this habit of bursts of anger doesn't mean that is something that's not your identity. That's one of the things that when I was listening to this therapist and he was talking about, I can't stand my field of study. He's a psychiatrist, but he said, the problem I have with psychology today is now me as a doctor, my group of friends as doctors will label somebody as bipolar, or will label somebody with, borderline personality disorder or something like that. And then now they have a label. And so they are a second-class citizen. We now are superior to them because we don't have that problem. So, and we've labeled them and create that's the type of person they are. And that's absolutely not true. What this is a response to stimuli in their life that then has gone to this degree, whether it's a physical stimuli or a mental stimuli or some kind of stimulus that's going on that's causing this reaction. And I would encourage you to go back and listen to some of the advice we gave to Haley, because possibly when you're dealing with regular outbursts of anger, there might be something. You may have a wall built up around your heart because of a wound that's happened to you in the past. You might have been hurt and made a decision to not allow yourself to get hurt like that ever again. And now you're trapped by this wall. And this is how it's manifesting itself. It's coming out as these regular outbursts of anger, and it's a defense mechanism for you. So there might be somebody to go back and forgive. If there's a grudge you're holding on to, if there's some kind of past hurt that somebody did to you that, you never really got over, or maybe you told yourself you were over it, but you said, I'm never going to let myself feel that again. I'm never going to go through that again. So I'm just never going to let that happen. Or I'm never going to trust this person again, or these type of people again, or I'm never going to want anything from that person again. But that you're still holding on to it at that point because you haven't let yourself heal. And if you can go back and forgive that person, you don't have to find them, track them down, and forgive them to their face, but just in your heart. Go back to that wound and experience it and imagine yourself telling them that you forgive them for that. If you're a praying person, pray for them. Pray that God forgives them as well. But go through that experience of forgiveness. And that will lend itself to this healing. A lot of things will loosen. Your blood pressure won't go up as high as quickly after you experience this healing. It can be very therapeutic to go through this process. And Shadow, I want you to know. Okay, Shadow says, I know I have a wound. I don't know who, what, or why. Okay. Yep. I know how that can be too. Mm-hmm. And this is where prayer comes in handy again, because you can pray to have that revealed to you. I know that's how I got to some of the ones that I had to go back to be healed. I had to pray for the Holy Spirit to, reveal to me where I needed to forgive, what instances I needed to forgive. Some of them were really obvious, and then some of them were really not obvious at all. And the most effective ones were the ones I'd buried so deep and forgotten about because I'd buried them deep and they were a long time ago. When those finally came back up, it was an emotional experience. It really, I remember re-experiencing those emotions of that event. And then I remember looking at him and forgiving him. And then I remember the lie I had told myself. In that particular instance, I had told myself the lie that I was inadequate, that I couldn't do things on my own. And so many bad habits of mine were healed by that one moment of forgiveness and telling myself the truth. Oh, I can handle things on my own. I'm not inadequate. That healed a lot of bad habits. And so seek, take a little bit of time. And it can take some effort to go back through there and meditate on it and pray about it. But as always, forgiveness is the key to your healing. And in moments like this, where if you've got regular outbursts of anger, you can control it. You can change who you are. And the first step is the key. Like Ryan told you, this isn't who you are. This is simply an experience you have, an action you take, a habit that's been developed, and it can change. Now, I saw you mentioned on a previous post that, you might be able to fix the habit, but get the people back. You're not so sure. Get people that that have separated from you because of these outbursts. That's true. You can't necessarily compel somebody to be your friend again. But there are a lot of people who would like to be your friend. I'd like to be your friend. You're here in the chat room, and you're contributing, and it means so much for all of you guys to be here, including you, Shadow. And I hope that some of that I said helped. I hope that it can point you in the right direction. And I'm going to turn it back to Ryan because maybe he remembered what he was going to say.
Yeah, a little bit. And I thought of a little bit more stuff too. I don't usually let the outside world pick how I want to feel. Like if something else is going out on whatever around me, that doesn't mean in my head I have to submit myself to that and feel the way that they're acting. But I'm human, so sometimes I do. But a lot of times I'm able to trump it with just saying, just thinking out loud to myself, and just like, what's the right thing I can do? What can I do here that's right? What's the right thing? A lot of times just asking myself that in the moment is really helpful. But here's the big one. Here's the big one for me. This is maybe my best advice to you. Where's your heart at? Are you training your heart? A heart is something that's very important. It's your intentions. It's your will. It's how you treat people. Where is your heart when you're talking to people? And do you love people? Because here's the thing. If you love somebody, if your heart is in the right place and you're not thinking about you and you're thinking about them, or, you can think about both of you at the same time. But if your intention is always to love somebody, then that will help you have strength over your emotions. And so what do I mean by love? Love is the desire for the good of another. It's to will the good of another. If you love somebody, it means you want the best for them. And you're willing to do what it takes to get them that and to treat them that way, to help them grow, to nourish them, to condition them, to guide them, to strengthen them. That's what love is. And we can love everybody. And actually, the more we love everybody, the better it is. Even loving your enemies. I mean, anybody can love anybody who loves them, right? But even more power to the person who loves their enemy, right? And it may sound strange, but I do love my enemies. I want the best for them. And honestly, if they had what was good for them, they probably wouldn't be my enemy. So I don't want bad things for people who get on my nerves. I want for them to grow. And sometimes if something's on my nerves, I ask myself, okay, this is on my nerves. Am I in the wrong or are they in the wrong? Because sometimes my annoyance is just my own personal opinion that's not based on any fact or in love or in anything. Sometimes annoyance is just my lack of ability to tolerate or to accept or to acknowledge or to be charitable or to think of them or to be patient or whatever. So sometimes it's my lacking and sometimes it's theirs. Either way, what's the loving thing to do? And so if my heart is in the right place, then my actions will be. And sure, sometimes I'll have those emotional outbursts like, man, this kid is getting on my nerves, right? But then at the same time, I won't freak out and hit the kid, right? Or freak out and, whatever. Because I love them. I might be upset, but then I can go, what's the best thing I can do for this child to learn? Or what's the best thing I can do for this adult to learn? Or for me to learn? So, grr, I'm so scary. Agree. But yeah, so where's your heart? Are you training your heart? Because a heart needs to be trained. And how is it trained? How much time do you spend creating good intent, or thinking about others and willing good intentions. That's why prayer is such a beautiful thing. Even if you don't pray, I understand. Maybe that's not your religion, but prayer is really healthy because you pray for other people. And so you're training your heart so that when you talk to people in real life and you deal with people who are maybe insensitive or rude or whatever, your heart is in the right place when you deal with them. And so then you act with kindness and patience and charity and love and all of these things because you've trained your heart for that moment. But so I would suggest praying for people or thinking about people and thinking about how you can help them, or or just people that you love and how you love them and what you love about them and all the things that they've done that you think are amazing. Whether they've done it for you or done it for themselves or done it for other people or what, just whatever. Spend time focusing on loving people. Because if you train your heart, your habits will follow. If you train your heart, it's going to be a lot easier than if you don't train your heart. Because imagine you're thrown into a situation and your heart's not in the right place. It's going to be a lot easier to explode than if you go into a situation and your heart is prepared and wants to help and wants to be charitable and wants to be kind, despite and knowing probably even that bad things are going to happen. See that you can know that bad things are going to happen and bad things happen. And when they do, you're like, hey, it's no big deal. I expected that. And it's like whatever, you know? But if you go into a situation and it's a surprise, it's always harder. So I'm not saying train your heart to be untrusting. I'm saying train your heart to be trusting, but to be strong and desire the good of others. So spend time loving people, and that will probably help you a lot. I think that could be probably the best advice I could give, is spend time focusing specifically on loving people. And that'll train your heart for the battle ahead. Because when you're weak, when your heart is weak, when your dreams are dead, you just kind of give up and you explode when bad things happen, right? So you combat that by training your heart for the battle ahead of time. So good luck. You can do it, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And thank you, Shadow, for the question. And thanks for allowing us to talk about it. I think there was some really important stuff that got said. And I was really, when you posted, I was really looking forward to talking about it. So thanks for sticking around, and thanks for posting. Oh
yeah. And Lux, I'll at you.
All right. Can you call me by my name so I can give my mom a scare and help me with a school bully? They laugh at every little thing I do. Hey, Quinn.
Quinn. Hey.
I'd be happy to call you by your name, Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn. We'd be happy to. Quinn.
Yeah.
How you doing, Quinn?
And we appreciate that you're here.
Quinn.
And now you're just getting ridiculous.
Sorry, I really like your name. That's all.
I gotta
that you have.
I gotta tell Ryan, he did mention that when he feels annoyed, he has to ask himself, maybe it's just him that's annoyed.
Yeah.
And I want to remind you, Ryan, that when I annoy you, it's really just you.
It definitely is. But you've never annoyed me, so you're fine.
So. Whatever, I know I have.
No, I don't think you have. Maybe. I don't remember.
I totally have. Totally have.
I don't think you have, man.
I've been annoyed by myself in your presence, so I know I've annoyed you.
Wow. Okay, that's good though. Another thing is patience. Patience is, a virtue. Patience is a hard thing for so many people. But if you have patience, all the emotions are a lot easier to deal with. And it's a lot, you don't get annoyed so fast about anything. You're just like, I don't mind sitting here and having you punch me in the shoulder 50 times in a row. It's like, whatever, I can handle it. I'm patient. You'll stop eventually. Whatever it is. Patience. Hey, look, hey, if you have a problem with procrastination, that could be good for you. Turn that into patience. Get better at procrastination. But you can imagine to be like, well, I can put off working for 30 minutes. So I just put off this annoyance for like 30 minutes and be like, yeah, it's whatever. I mean, like, yeah, I'll do that project tomorrow. I'll get mad at the person tomorrow. It's like, whatever, I don't need to get mad at them right now anyways. So I've got like all of tomorrow to do that or something. if you're lazy like me, patience is easy.
Yes. Haley says when her brothers are shooting with Nerf guns, she's just annoyed. That's right. That's not an annoying thing to be shot with Nerf guns all day long. I've actually been there, but not by 5 brothers. I only have 2 sons that shoot me with Nerf guns.
Sometimes you need to just allow yourself to be like, you know what? It's going to be like annoying to get up and just play with them. And I don't want to. But then when you do it, time passes and it was actually fun. So sometimes when people are shooting you with Nerf guns, you just need to pick up a Nerf gun and shoot it back. Or other times you just need to lock your door and be like, look, I'm busy. I've got children to feed. I've got houses to build. I've got bills to pay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only 16, so, or whatever.
Right.
14, 13.
I got stuff to do. I ain't got time to be impatient.
I ain't got time to be impatient. That's so true.
So, wow.
Nope. None of us have a degree in psychology. We're just doing our best to give advice based on the things that we've gone through in our lives. And that's why we say we're not professionals and you don't have to take our advice. We're just doing our best to give you some pointers that we wish we had when we were growing up. And we're still growing up. So
yes, very true. And there have been a lot of times when we've said to people, hey, it would not hurt to seek professional therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And it never is. There's never be ashamed of that. I know sometimes it can be nerve-wracking. I know sometimes it can be humiliating inside. I tell you, I've been there. I've been through therapy. I've seen psychologists, and there's no shame in that. They can be really, really helpful. Sometimes with their knowledge, they can find the things that can really sometimes you just need to flip one little thing and it can fix you. And they might be able to find that thing. But come back here for the encouragement while you go through that journey. Because that's what we're here for. We might offer some advice and some perspective. But if you're really struggling, don't feel ashamed to seek a professional because they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we should probably close it down.
We should, because we've been here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's so amazing. Ryan, you could do it easy. You're much better than any of my therapists, Quinn says.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, he is good.
Joe is pretty awesome. I take a lot of inspiration from everything he says, and then I just take everything he says and then say it again. So just repeat everything he says, and so I sound good. But
you look good too. You look like you sound good.
I am just it's pretending to look good so that you think I do, but in reality, I look flipping amazing.
Yes, you oh man, well, that's awesome. on that note, we're gonna shut her down. So thank you guys for being here. It was a real pleasure to see every single one of you. And we'll be back on Friday. So if you have any other issues, questions, or anything, post them on the website. I don't have the page up right now. So can you, do you have it?
Yeah, I'll post the.
I'll go to it. I'll go to it real quick. I'll go to it. I got distracted.
So you want the forums?
I got it.
I did.
Oh, you beat me to it.
Well, I cheated. So there's that.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, go there. I'm going to post it again.
Oh, Princess is going to post it too. Oh.
Princess posted it. Now I got to do it again.
Are you? You don't have to win more. Like you're in first place. You know,
she did it again. Oh, yes. All right. Yeah. Well, click on any one of those. Princess, thank you for being here. And Jesse, thanks for producing. Everybody here, thank you so much for being here.
Links broke my phone. Ouch. Anyways, yeah, thank you. Bye, everybody. Bless.
Bye, guys.
Have a beautiful rest of your Christmas.
And we'll see you next time.